Welcome to Viseland, and you will notice this is our first episode where you're not going to see the split screen. We are in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, looking forward at a screen rather than talking to
each other. Yeah. Looking directly at you. We're like, it's like the debates, like we're talking to the people.
Yeah.
That kind of action there. But yeah, Mychel is actually in Los Angeles, came down to visit me, and yeah, so this got us
came down to visit Andrew. But
yeah, my son Andrew was kind of a little bit more important, but also I happened to be here as well.
He did.
And it got us really thinking this week, as far as what to talk about. We're talking about brothers.
Yeah.
In the NBA.
Actually, a suggestion from Jason's wife Jenica.
Yeah. She was like, hey, you should talk about this.
I loved it.
And then it got us thinking, too, because, this draft, the 2020 NBA draft, is also bringing in another brother duo to the NBA because you're going to get LaMelo Ball to go along with Lonzo. So, they could, be on this list maybe in a few years. Who knows? But, yeah, it got us thinking about the best brothers in the NBA. And obviously it sparked, some conversation about our rivalry as well that we've had throughout the years, as far as which one of us was better. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through these, these are kind of like the best brother combinations that have someone active in the NBA today. And then we're also going to take a further look at who's better. Is it the oldest, the youngest? And in one case it's the middle as well as a possibility.
Ish. Yeah.
It's a possibility.
At least a couple.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just went through 10 pretty relevant brother pairings or trios. I know that the Jones brothers, from the 70s and 80s, they had 4. So that was pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
But yeah, there are a few trios in the NBA currently, and mostly duos. And yeah, we'll just go over them and kind of give you some 10 relevant NBA brothers.
And we'll find out the age-old question is older, younger, who's better? Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe. So we're going to start with, we did this and we kind of have
might be inconclusive.
Yeah, we kind of rank this. It's like this kind of list is kind of based on point total of the.
Yeah, we're going through the rundown by their point total in the NBA.
So that's that kind of gives you an aggregate of how they were as a pairing. So we're going to start at the bottom, and who is our first brother combination?
We have. I believe Jerami came into the NBA first, but Jerian is actually the older brother. But Jerami and Jerian Grant, and we wanted to talk about how
they're brothers that came from a set of brothers in the NBA.
Not a set. They came from one
brother. one brother combination of.
They came from Harvey Grant.
They came from Harvey, but it's Harvey was part of the Harvey and Horace also played in the NBA, and then.
Indeed.
Harvey gets 2 children into the league. You got Jerami, Jerian. I got to tell you.
And then they have another brother who is playing in Bahrain currently, Jrue, and he played for Clemson also.
So just a family of
hoopers.
Prolific ball. And I got to say, Jerami Grant is on my list of off the court super nice people. So always been a fan. Super nice guy. Every time I've come into contact with him, he's always cool. But yeah, you kind of take a look at their point totals. You got. Jerami is about 4,200 points for his career.
Yeah.
Jerian, about 1,000-ish.
Yeah. And if you guys watch the YouTube, you'll realize how much I actually look at Basketball Reference and constantly I'm looking at
it's not
this is may not be the best for chemistry, but we're trying, and it's cool to do it live. But yeah, so we have Jerami Grant is a guy who's really come on the last few years. So last year in Oklahoma City, he was great as a role guy.
Yeah, man, nice in the playoffs. The playoffs was really coming on.
And then and this year, with Denver, he was very big time. And then he has a player option that I believe discussed where he is definitely not going to take the player option and look for more money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he may be on the move this offseason, but, yeah, they and Jerian was a really good point guard at Notre Dame. He actually was the higher draft pick. So, yeah, Jerami was the 39th pick in 2014, and Jerian he was the 19th pick in 2015. So, yeah, so the younger brother came into the NBA first, and Jerian had a full 4 years at Notre Dame, he had 5 years at Notre Dame. Yeah, he redshirted a year.
You know, why not take the extra year? You know, hang out, live in the dorms.
And you know, it seemed like in his 3rd year in Chicago, he was kind of playing a little bit of a role, and then he's been with Orlando, and this year was with Washington, and didn't play very much.
But he still got that free trip to the bubble, being on Washington. You know, he got to be there for a few weeks. So take what you can. You got a couple weeks in Orlando out of that, but I definitely.
But the Grant twins, Horace and Harvey, they combined for over 20,000 points over their NBA career. 4 NBA championship rings, all by Horace.
And Horace made that other finals.
And an all-star game.
And Horace made that other finals with Orlando, too. And he was like one of the key guys on that like Shaq, Petty, Orlando team as well. He was actually on the Sports Illustrated cover where it's like Charles Barkley's looking into his glasses and it's like, see you in the finals.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was like a really like iconic like Sports Illustrated cover.
And was apparently the snitch for Sam Smith, though he denies it. So, yeah, for the Jordan rules.
Well, if you see how crazy Michael Jordan is, I would deny it as well. Because like I think you know what happens when he takes it personally.
Yeah.
kind of goes at you there. But basically, you know, looking at the grants, you know, Jerami is right now the better of the 2 brothers.
Yes. And he is the younger.
He's the younger. So that is 1 point for Team Younger.
Yes. You'll keep the points.
I will keep the points. I'm the one that cares about the points more than
I definitely care about them less than you. Very true.
And see, we're competitive on even our lack of caring. that sparks rivalry, tension. That's what life is about.
I wish we could count all the one-on-one games we played and how like way further ahead I am than you. But
you had 2 extra years of eligibility.
Not in the games that we played.
You were older.
Bigger. Yeah. Still am.
Maybe after this recording is done, we will find the nearest basketball court that is open and have a late night aggression match.
Yo, probably not. Freaking wish, buddy.
I would die. I'm not in that shape at this exact moment.
But so we'll move on, and this is a very relevant one with one of maybe the best player in the NBA. He has 2 brothers that have played in the NBA as well, and that's amazing in itself. The fact that one of the brothers is a 2-time NBA MVP this year, winning Defensive Player of the Year. He has 10,602 points during his NBA career. If you add all the brothers together, his older brother Thanasis, and then he has a younger brother Kostas, and another younger brother Alex, currently playing, I believe, in Greece, and he just had like a really big game it was one of the lower leagues in was it Greece or was it Spain? Oh no, he's playing in Spain, I think. Yeah,
ACB is like a higher rated league.
It's not ACB, but
never mind that.
He wasn't playing in the ACB, but he was playing in one of the lower leagues, but he had like 26 points and 6 3-pointers. I believe was like 6 of 6. Just had a huge game there, and so Alex Antetokounmpo was possibly going to college, and as we know, Kostas went to Dayton, but Alex decided to play overseas instead. And he is, I think, 6'6" with a 7'2" wingspan, something along those lines.
So he's like one of the smaller members of this family.
Yeah, well, Thanasis is like, not much taller. And like Alex may indeed be like 6'7" at this point or something along those lines too. Kostas is around like 6'9".
Well, Giannis is one of those guys, like he grew after he came in the league too. Like, so they say. I mean, that's
exactly.
Urban legend,
I feel like he may have like grown a bit, like obviously got stronger, which is something that happens to every player.
Oh, well, hopefully.
But I think the Giannis growing 2 inches thing is a bit overblown, and I think he was already 6'10" when he came into the league. But
still a cool story to believe.
Yeah. I mean, people believe lots of things. But so their point total together, Giannis 10,602, together 10,672.
Yeah. So we're adding 70 additional points, with the combination of the 2.
61 from Thanasis, 9 from Kostas.
But how many rings between the 3?
There's 1. and it comes from Kostas and Antetokounmpo.
With the pack on the package, it says "Care of LeBron James."
Oh, indeed.
But
and Anthony Davis, you got throw in AD because
both,
it was both of those guys together. But yeah, LeBron obviously putting in the lion's share. And yeah, so just amazing story there. And Thanasis was obviously like a NBA draft prospect as well. Yeah, it's just
it's always just like it's a lot of potential stuff with them. I know like the younger brother was a Dayton, they kind of had that like he got to the G.
Okay, yeah. So Thanasis Giannis was drafted the year before, and Thanasis was drafted in 2014. He was the 51st pick by the New York Knicks.
Which is, that's going to bring you good things in life, when the Knicks are drafting you.
Yeah. Well, he was with the best regular season team for this year, and maybe large part due to his brother.
Hey,
I certainly don't think it hurt that Kostas had the Antetokounmpo name, but he was drafted, and he played with Dallas, and then he was playing with the Lakers.
Yeah, exactly. He was bouncing in the G League too, wasn't he? Like a little bit, yeah. And then
I will admit that during the Hoop Summit, when Kostas and Antetokounmpo did play, I was calling him Roastus because Harry Froling was owning him in practice, which was kind of a mismatch at the time.
And then he also busted out the Greek flag during the Lakers celebration
and Nigerian.
Yeah, brought him both.
Yeah. So yeah, they have definitely they'll be playing for Greece, but yeah, Nigerian roots. I believe their name before it was officially like changed into kind of the Greek spelling was Antetokounmpo. But yeah, Giannis is just amazing.
Yeah, there's no doubt who was winning those matchups as a child. Giannis is just at like a completely different tier than anyone could hope to be.
Yeah, so Seth Partnow from The Athletic had his NBA tiers, and 1A, I think definitely included LeBron, it included Giannis, included James Harden, and one other player. I think it was Kawhi. Yeah, so Kawhi. Kind of hard to argue.
And we'll see, like in Giannis,
those being the four.
Obviously not happy with how his season ended this year. So it's hopefully
especially with him getting hurt. He had yes, they were down 3-0 and like they were almost certainly going to lose, but he just came out in game 4 with like that huge head of steam. He had 19 points in 11 minutes. He was really balling. And then even if you look at his playoff statistics, like Giannis was hooping. It was just kind of the other guys weren't putting up their usual numbers. And I think I mentioned this once before, but like Chris Middleton was one of like the worst players around the basket during the bubble.
And also he wouldn't guard Jimmy Butler because he didn't want to go against the coach.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which is like the opposite of what LeBron does, because I don't think LeBron listens to his coach. Like he has like
I don't know. LeBron was pretty switch heavy too, but
he kind of like sometimes he steps onto the people like he wants to kind of make that.
Oh well, yeah.
Known.
Yeah. Well, I think if you talk to your coach and you say you would like to defend somebody and you're one of the best perimeter defenders.
Yeah, like LeBron gets like an override.
Your coach would probably maybe say, think that's not a bad idea. I would think Chris Middleton would get an override too, but who knows? Could be Budenholzer holds all the power.
So, but Giannis puts us in the first interesting situation in our keeping track because he is the middle brother.
He is, but he's also the second oldest.
So we'll give older. We'll give older.
You're gonna give it to older? Okay.
We'll give it to older.
Okay. He's older than Kostas.
He is older than Kostas.
And I guess we're just not even counting Thanasis.
We're just hoping, like maybe Kostas next year really gets a rocket in there and decides to be better than his brother.
Wouldn't
probably not like
bank on it.
Yeah.
But
maybe if he plays maybe an NBA 2K, he can start at my player and take it to the level he needs. But yeah, Giannis is the best of these three and is always going to be probably because MVP, like to get to his level.
I'm guessing Alex Antetokounmpo is as well as he played in I don't even think it was Gold League. I think it was it was some lower league.
He was playing at the YMCA and he got 26 points. He's pretty proud of himself. But yeah, Giannis is like
I'm trying to look up.
Yeah, like Giannis is like a one of the guys of this generation.
Mm-hmm. And
Also, he plays in Spain.
Oh, LEB Gold. Was he in LEB Gold? Yeah, I don't know.
So
whoever it was, yeah. He
there's like
Alex Antetokounmpo.
Okay,
he had a big first game, so we'll keep an eye on that.
And again, has there ever been a four? I guess you said it in the 70s, but like 4-brother combination right now.
Yeah. Oh, the Jones brothers. Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be pretty crazy if they can do it in this day and age.
Caldwell Jones was one of the guys that Magic Johnson jumped up against in the NBA Finals.
In 1980,
was the guy that
was the starting center for the Sixers at that time. But so if the Antetokounmpos not from the USA get 4 kids into the league, like that is super insanely impressive
for sure. And then so the Jones brothers, it was Caldwell Jones, Charles Jones, Major Jones, and Will Jones. Lots of Joneses.
Yeah,
you could call them the basketball Jones. All right, moving on, we have Goran and his brother Zoran Dragić.
And this is our first introduction into the rhyming brothers, which is like you find that a lot more in college. Like I look at USC's history, with Eric and Derek Craven, and then Lodrick and Roderick Stewart, back in the days. But like good on Goran and Zoran, bringing the rhyming, the rhyming names from Slovenia.
And this one, Goran Dragić obviously had a fantastic playoffs this year and has been a great player for many teams, Phoenix, San Antonio, and then this year for Miami.
Right now the Heat, and then who knows what the future holds.
Making like his first All-Star team with Miami, like at a pretty, good age. And then they have combined for 11,402 points. Goran has 11,374 of those. Goran's obviously made a nice NBA career, and Zoran was kind of more of the EuroLeague guy. Right now he's with Saski Baskonia in the ACB. Is still 31 years old. So he's 3 years or so younger than Goran. And both just can score in bunches. Like that's what they do. And this year Goran Dragić was doing that at a very high level.
Well, and that was such a difference for him being hurt in the, and just not being able to go in the finals.
Yeah,
that definitely hurt Miami.
Skills.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely killed their team.
Yeah, he's a point guard, and he's been Goran's just been a great, frustrating for opposing team point guard since he came to the league. I remember he and Sasha Vujacic used to fight all the time on the Phoenix Lakers, back in the day there. But definitely, obviously. The hat goes to Goran on this one, who also does happen to be older. So that's another.
Yeah. So far, older 2, younger 1. Is that the score?
That is the score.
That's the score that you're keeping.
That I am keeping, and I'm going out on a limb. But it's interesting too. Do you think the brothers get the younger brothers get a little more buzz because they have that lineage of having an older brother in the league?
I think it kind of depends on how good they are at
basketball. It depends. Obviously, but Goran's pretty.
I mean, Seth Curry went undrafted, so I don't know. But Goran, I think it's certainly, having that name. And then I think often people get compared to their brother, and sometimes they are 2 very different playing styles. I think in the case of Goran and Zoran, they are somewhat similar.
Yeah.
They and then I think a lot of the times siblings will at least get a chance because sometimes I know in summer league often it's the case where a team will have a sibling and their younger sibling will play on that team during summer league and possibly get a spot.
J.R. Smith was able to do that.
Yeah, Charles Smith.
Yeah, his brother was
I know. What was his name? Caleb Landry, his brother, I think Marcus Landry was another one. And it happens. You thought that maybe LiAngelo Ball would get a Lakers roster.
It's not too late for him, okay? Yeah. It's never too late. Obviously,
Rage against the dying of light.
Big baller brand, it might be, disintegrating. They might not, LeVar's initial premonition of happening on the Lakers also probably that door is.
How are the $3 billion doing? That's what I'm wondering.
That door for the Lakers is probably closed and locked, and they threw away the key.
Yeah, the NBA has lost $1.5 billion this year, or came in with $1.5 billion less, and I think the Balls might have taken.
But hey, two or three kids isn't bad, and for delusional parents.
Don't be sad.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And like, I'm sure LiAngelo's a nice guy. He can do the pick and roll. That's where he picks up their clothes from the dry cleaner and rolls it on over to their house, to quote an SNL sketch. So like maybe he still has a role within the family. But moving on, we got a good brother combination that comes from an NBA father. Coming down, we got Klay and Mychel Thompson,
the first ever international #1 pick
from Bahamas,
1978.
Yeah. From University of Minnesota by way of Bahamas, coming in. But Klay and Mychel Thompson.
And this is another one where one of the brothers has scored quite a few more points than the other one. They're 12,013, and Klay has 11,995 of those points.
Yeah, Mychel got a little run because he played in the G League, and then called it he got a call.
Caps.
Yeah, he got a little mini call up. But yeah, unfortunately, long-term NBA was not his, going to be in the cards for him coming out of Pepperdine.
Yeah, it's still pretty amazing.
No,
his dad gave them kind of the same name, except his is spelled with an E, whereas dad's is spelled with an A. He went to Pepperdine, played 4 years there. He's played with a bunch of teams in the G League, and then he played with Pallacanestro Varese of Italy, and he's been kind of out of playing basketball since I think 2015. Klay Thompson, as we know, is one of the best players in the NBA. Missed this year due to the injury he unfortunately suffered in the final game of the finals, he just such a bummer. It was really a drag not having Klay Thompson.
Oh, totally, because he's just
one of the best shooters in NBA history,
and doesn't need to dribble. He can dribble the ball 3 times a game and still have
but still can dribble.
Yeah, totally.
Pull-ups,
but just catch and shoot. And I remember actually when they were a lot younger as children, they actually grew up in Portland, and I was able to see them at the gym that we go to. I was able to see them with their dad. They were shooting around when they were younger, and it was pretty cool because I was again a point in my life where I realized NBA is not in the cards for me. These guys maybe. There's the chance there.
I think the genetics certainly helped.
They were still kids, but they were a lot taller and better at shooting than I was. But super athletic family. Their other brother Trace actually played in the Major League Baseball for a while. He's playing for the Dodgers, White Sox. He's out of baseball as well, but I think they can hold their heads pretty high with Klay, and Mychel, the dad, still does some commentary for, I believe, the Lakers on the radio and some other teams as well. So you still find him around the league. Super, super nice family. Love Mychel Thompson. Really, really nice guy. Got to go to his basketball camp. But again, what is Klay, though? Is Klay not younger?
He is younger.
2-2. Boom, we're tied.
Yeah. And I think you might be pulling ahead here. We have Taylor and Blake Griffin as our next brother pairing in this case.
And again, they did the cool thing, because so far, we've had some international. We've also had some people that played at different colleges. This is the first one they played together in college, specifically.
Yeah.
Blake hung around because he wanted, to play college with his brother.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like after Blake Griffin's freshman year, he easily could have left and been
he's at that level. Yeah.
And he decided to stick around, I guess, for his brother's senior year. And this was another brother who I think kind of got a roster spot. He was Taylor was drafted, but yeah, I think he stuck around maybe a little bit longer because of Blake Griffin. He didn't have a long NBA stint, but he played pro, I think, in a few other places. And he was drafted by Phoenix. He was the 48th pick in the 2009 draft that Blake Griffin went #1 in. And he played 8 games, scored 10 points.
We got to put Griffin on the back of somebody's jersey, in this draft. Just
and now, as far as Team Griffin, which is big in Oklahoma in the EYBL, I think Taylor is kind of in charge of kind of dealing with that and getting into some coaching at this point.
Yeah, and like what's the point total again? Because this is another one that's
This is
a staggering,
13,489 points with Taylor scoring 10 of those. So yeah, this is a mostly Blake Griffin job. Blake Griffin still a good NBA player.
Yeah, still got miles on him.
Adding to his point total. I would think for the next at least a few years has had injury issues during the years, but he I guess the main question is whether he'll stay with the Pistons or be traded. And I think that there's a chance that some team might want Blake Griffin.
Yeah, I think he still has a lot. I mean, he's added some shooting to his game.
For sure.
That was not there when he first came.
He's always been such a great, had a really good handle. The shooting was something that was a pleasant addition as he got older. I think very few people would have thought Blake Griffin would be shooting, and of course with his insane athleticism and strength.
But that obviously, that always fades.
It does
in the career. You can't be the most athletic person the first year in the.
But obviously, I think skill set is a huge reason why he's still as good as he is.
And can you just imagine that, Blake Griffin being your younger brother and just watching that guy dunk all over you. That's a tough one-on-one matchup. I think.
Oh, maybe.
On again, on a blacktop, Blake Griffin showed up. Yeah.
The athleticism difference between the two was pronounced.
Pretty staggering.
Yeah.
Pretty staggering. So again, we're giving a point here for the younger.
Yes.
So it's 3.
3-2.
3-2.
Our next brother NBA guys.
Guys that are related.
This one is neck and neck. And it's a pair of twins.
It's a pair of twins, and they also played in college together. And they played in the NBA a little bit
together
as well. So it's
they had hoped to play in the NBA together for a long time.
But then they did play together.
They took less money to play together, only to be screwed by an organization that has kind of screwed many people, the Phoenix Suns. But the Phoenix Suns actually drafted Markieff, and he was the 13th pick. And then Marcus was the 14th pick. And so they went right after each other. I remember them crying and him saying that's my dude and stuff like that. It was emotional for me.
Well, you wonder
I usually kind of roll my eyes at that stuff. That was pretty emotional.
Well, you wonder for some of those guys, especially twins, you're in that same age, so you're never separate.
Oh man, yeah.
You never
those guys always wanted to hang out.
Yeah, because when you're I saw them hanging out. They actually came into where I used to work with Thomas Robinson. They had a little Kansas gang going, but a lot of other brother combinations. You look at Blake and Taylor Griffin. It's okay, you're a few years apart, so it's he's in high school, I'm in middle school, he starts college, I'm in high school. You're not playing together, but it's when you're twins, you could literally play together at every conceivable level, every conceivable moment.
Yeah.
So and obviously they did that in college. So jumping.
And these guys are almost identical in every way. I think Markieff measures out a little bit bigger, but they're pretty close. And their games are slightly different. Keith was always more of the big, and but had the nice shooting touch from outside. And they both had solid skill sets and good physical attributes. And Marcus Morris Sr. now was more of the wing. Now I think Marcus is kind of slide in at the 3-4 combo, and you have Keith at kind of the 4-5.
Yeah, a smaller ball. Keith fits in the 5.
Both of them were in fantastic position to win NBA championships this year.
Only one of them got to do it.
Only one of them did. One of them plays a larger role, and Marcus Morris Sr. seems to be the better of the two. They're neck and neck as far as point totals. I just feel going forward, I think Marcus has made more NBA money, and going forward is kind of the more higher ranked commodity of the two. And Marcus at this point, 7,326 points scored in the NBA. Markieff is at 7,286. So they're like really close.
Yeah,
that's a 40-point difference. So 14,612. And yeah, they you would think they still have at least a few good years left.
Like Markieff, I mean, he proved that, coming in, playing his role that, when he came in for the Lakers, because he came in midseason, right, for the Lakers.
Markieff?
Yeah. So,
he was a late season addition.
That's what
He was with Washington. They have the picture of Keith
and Dwight Howard. Yeah, those proud Washington Wizards alums, doing in LA.
And then the Clippers, after trading like a whole ton of first-round picks in the Paul George trade, decided what's one more, and they decided to give the Knicks a first-round pick for Marcus Morris Sr. this year. And for a while, it looked like it was going to work out. And, in the playoffs, I remember Marcus was shooting quite well. But, yeah, just did not sustain, unfortunately.
But, hey, they're both, they're not playing together on the same team. They're still playing in the same city.
Keith was big time in the Houston Rockets series. He was just a nice bench addition. I know the lineup of, like, kind of Keith at the big, LeBron, I guess like either Kuzma or some other wing and a couple guards, like gave Lakers quite a bit of success. And even Keith, could play next to Anthony Davis. I think the thing he is most famous for is throwing the ball away at the end of Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
That was a pretty.
He redeemed himself, luckily. He was instrumental in Game 4. Had 19 points, was very big, and then I think in Game 6 he more than redeemed himself.
Well, maybe he felt like he was in the movie The Sixth Man, where there is a brother there, and he thought he was passing it to him, but it was a ghost. No,
I don't think that would work.
Not going to take it there.
I don't know if the brother could have done things to make Anthony Davis get that ball.
Yeah,
I just don't think.
But okay, here's the question on that play.
Yeah,
his play at the end of that game or J.R. Smith?
Oh, no question. It's obviously J.R. Smith.
Yeah, because I think he was kind of like in a hurry frazzle situation where it's like there wasn't that much time left anyway. Like there wasn't like too much that could have been done. But like J.R. Smith did have a lot of time left on the shot clock to like possibly make something happen. But yeah, 2 finals blunders from LeBron, and you wonder, like, people wonder why, like, LeBron sometimes has this vein on his forehead. That,
like, I guess the one thing with Keith is it was actually so little time left, and they were behind.
Yeah,
but yeah, the J.R. Smith thing.
It was fairly inexcusable because you got a lot of time left,
especially since the Lakers got like a good look right before then.
Yeah, and that was their initial look. Like they didn't dump it in, pass it into him, and then he just chucked it out of bounds. Like he kind of got a rebound and like
So moving on, we've got a trio of brothers, and when the youngest brother came out, he did like kind of like a cool deal with his other 2 brothers, and it's just kind of rad that they all played in the NBA together. 2 of them even played together this year on Indiana, and that is the oldest being Justin Holiday, but Jrue Holiday was actually the first one drafted of the 3 brothers, and then Aaron Holiday was the last. Jrue and Aaron both went to UCLA. Justin went to Washington. And so a lot of Pac-12 love there.
Yeah, and they're LA. They're LA guys.
LA guys.
I actually remember we saw Aaron Holiday play in high school, and he was playing with Ray Romano's son.
Yeah.
Because you said, like, you were sitting in the stands, like, oh, look at Ray Romano over there. I thought you were just, like, making fun of some guy.
No, that was straight up Ray Romano.
Like, yeah. That is literally Ray Romano.
Yeah. I saw Aaron Holiday also play in Nike Global Challenge when he was in high school, and he did not play exceptionally well. And I remember one of the parents of another player was like, that guy is a hog. And but yeah, the other player unfortunately never drafted. Aaron Holiday was I believe 26th pick in the draft, and looking like he's going to get some burn with Indiana over the next little while. Certainly has some quickness and shooting ability.
He's been on he and Jrue have been on a better. Justin's kind of bounced.
I always remember like hearing like Aaron Holiday being better than Jrue Holiday, like being like the one with the most potential of all the Holiday brothers. I don't see it. I think Jrue was the money Holiday, and he is a very, very
consistently,
good player. And another player like beyond Blake Griffin who could be on the trading block this summer. Summer. God, I'm so discombobulated with the end of the NBA season.
I think it's so programmed
this winter.
It's so programmed in our heads to think like free agency, summer, draft, summer. But it's like, okay, winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
So possibly in this offseason that could be very.
That's what I should have said.
Very quick turnaround, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe Christmas come back, but again, who knows? But yeah, looking at three brothers. Obviously career-wise, Jrue's the only one that's made an all-star teem.
Jrue is just a really good defender.
Yeah.
It can do so much on the floor, has really good size. Just has done well in playoff settings and helps teams win games.
No, totally. And I think like, the case for him on the block.
Suffered many injuries, but yeah.
Of course, it's like New Orleans is probably going to want to go. They have they have Lonzo, so they have a point guard. They got
Well, Stan Van Gundy, I'm sure, is loving having Jrue Holiday, but yeah, they might be looking to
for like a money to like what you're trying to work with kind of situation.
Yeah, that could be.
You're probably going to want to do it, but like basically
gain everybody on the same timeline, basically.
Aaron and Jrue were both,
and a lot of teams want a guy like Jrue Holiday, like they feel like that might be
you can missing piece. He can totally still contribute.
Can you imagine him with like the Clippers or something? Like,
no, that'd be that'd be like a super solid addition there.
I can't imagine Paul George on the Pelicans, but maybe get like a third team in there. Who knows? Yeah.
Pelican, yeah. Well, it'd be playoff P on the Pelican. There'd be a lot of alliteration.
No, a lot of alliteration.
Paul, playoff P.
Paul, Pelicans.
Yeah.
Pulling.
We could make some sort of newspaper headline out of it, but
plain like poop.
But yeah, Justin's kind of bounced around. Like he was on Golden State for a bit. He was G Leaguing up.
Yeah, and then he's stuck around. Justin is he was. I think getting like some pretty decent minutes with Indiana this year.
Well, obviously, Indiana's season obviously not ending in the playoffs the way they would have liked either because they got
he was averaging 25 minutes per game, 8.3 points. Like nice role player on a playoff team. No, they were actually the 4 seed over Miami too. They won that last game of the regular season. Not that Miami didn't thoroughly whoop their ass, but a lot of injuries and things going on there. But yeah, still coming together and winning that last game. I thought like they played in the bubble seeding games. I thought they played really well. So
and I think like pound for pound out of all these brother combinations that have to like step on the court together, like the Holidays would be pretty.
Oh, they're good.
Pretty tough in a game of threes, but obviously, if we're gonna have to pick one, it again is gonna go to that middle spot of Jrue.
Yes,
Jrue just being the.
Oh, I don't know if there's another brother beyond the 3, and I give it to Jrue, and he is the middle brother, so that's kind of like a wash.
And then because again, I think because then if we're gonna call that, you have to fight between the oldest and the youngest, and I think the youngest better than the oldest, so we'll call it a tie. Overall,
sure, and Jrue Holiday has 11,315 of their 15,736 NBA points.
Yeah, and Aaron's just getting cracking on.
Yeah, and they're also active players, so they maybe they'll pull ahead of this next duo, but I have a feeling that's not happening. It's just kind of unbelievable to me that like Stephen Curry ranks as highly as he does, though I guess with like Magic and Larry, like their like career totals probably aren't like insane because they only played like 11 or 12 seasons, but Stephen Curry, like to me this is like only has 16,419 NBA points, which is kind of crazy considering like people have him as like one of the 15 best players of all time. And it's hard to argue against that because he has had like this prime that is
totally, and the way he shoots the ball, it's like again, like I think
being the shooter
as a child getting to the game, I think like Dale Ellis was like the record holder at the time, and it was like maybe 900
times are a change.
No, totally. It was like 900 threes or something like that. And it was like Steph does that in a season, year in, year out. And it's like 25-ish years ago, like that was the record.
Yeah.
Up for a career. And now he's doing it like year in, year out. Like it's crazy. And it's just again, their father played in the NBA, good shooter. Seth, good shooter. Steph, the greatest. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like just all time.
Yeah. Dell was a fantastic shooter and just like had a beautiful looking shot too, quick release. And then Stephen just has this insane release, insane range, and can do it in so many different ways.
And then it's interesting too, because both of them are, they're playing in the NBA, obviously good to great shooters.
Yeah.
Neither one got love from the father's alma mater for college.
Yeah, that was
so Virginia Tech really dropped the ball times 2 here.
Honestly, like I know that they weren't necessarily like the guys you see in the NBA today, but it seemed like they both came into college and like kicked ass. Right?
Well, because didn't Seth lead the NCAA? He played for Liberty his freshman year. And
I don't think
one of the NCAA lead, but he was like very high
like
up
the
there
leading
on like the
freshman scorers.
And then he transfers.
Like he averaged a 20 piece for Liberty. And oh god, yeah, he played for Liberty.
That's his own set of problems. But, I mean,
I kind of forgot. Like I remembered he played for Liberty, but to me it wasn't Liberty at the time, and now I know more about it. And you're just like, screw that. Luckily, he went to Duke after that.
Which is, as much as you hate Duke, compared to Liberty, Duke is like an amazing place.
Duke is on a different level there. It's hard for me not to like Duke more than Liberty.
In this coin toss, you gotta go with the other.
For show. But yeah, so Seth has a really nice 3 extra years at Liberty. Like he does have to take. Yeah, he even took the.
He sits out the year Duke because he transferred out.
As a transfer, and. Yeah, we may have a guest at our podcast soon, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, he's been a tremendous shooter, and he's more of a kind of shooting off movement off the catch, like that kind of thing, not necessarily with the ball handling duty and all the other things that Stephen brings to the table. And which one is older, Jace?
That would be Steph.
Okay, yeah.
Steph is older.
So like this guy who's like a top 15 player of all time, and then his brother is nowhere close to that.
But his brother is, doing all right. He's finding a good role for, he's kind of like.
I mean, I like Seth Curry more, but
I think
he was a Blazer after all.
Yeah, he was a Blazer. No, I think Seth has like found a nice role in the league. Like,
yeah.
But
for sure.
Steph, obviously.
I actually do really appreciate Seth Curry. But yeah, Stephen.
And then again, when we talk
revolutionary
when we talk about the Curry brothers, it's always key to go look up this old Toronto Raptors video.
Love it.
That talks about them and shows them like shooting around at that's super.
And my favorite moment of the video is Sedell Curry. They are so it's funny because Seth and Stephen are shooting against each other, and they ask who won, and Seth won the shooting competition they were having, and Stephen even admits it. Like Stephen's not like arguing or anything like that. It's like, oh, Seth won, and then Seth has a basketball, and Sedell Curry has a basketball, and Paul Jones is talking with Dell and Sonia, and Stephen tries to get the basketball from Sedell, and she just rips that thing. She's like, no way, buddy. Like, and the look on her face, it's gold.
It's a basketball.
It should have many more views than it does.
It's a basketball family. Yeah, like they came up.
Plus, Sedell Curry is married to Damian Lee, who plays for the Warriors. Yeah,
they stay in the NBA. This family.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Steph obviously all time amazing. But basically, the moral on this one, too, is, like, again, Del Curry sends 2 kids to the league. His alma mater doesn't get either one of them. Like, crazy. Virginia Tech, get your basketball life together.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. Was Seth Greenberg still there for Seth?
I don't know. But either way, you'd think, like.
His name is even freaking Seth.
Yeah, like, I think once Steph Curry did what he did, you just, like, take the waiver. Just give
I know.
Just give the honorary scholarship.
Oh, God. We didn't take his brother, and this guy's not even as good as him.
Yeah, just.
Oh yeah, he was there. Oh yeah,
because definitely like
2003 and 2012. Greenberg, buddy.
Yeah, like I understand, like you're not gonna get.
We have the same haircut, but that's about it. But
yeah, you're not always gonna get the next generation of like your alumni. Like,
Yeah.
in the case of Oregon, obviously Kevin Love decided to go elsewhere, but that wasn't for lack of trying.
And like we could have recruited Colin, but we didn't.
We didn't, but we didn't miss anything there. Like,
that was different. That was very different.
Yeah, like like trying for somebody, but yeah, like not even giving them the love. Like that's the thing that like really hurts.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
and then both of them, turned into the league, and again, like, and then Seth also,
just like work ethic and everything like that.
Ends up in the ACC as well, like at Duke, like at a school.
I know, and at Duke, and like probably saving a special game for Virginia Tech every time.
Oh, totally. Like that college basketball is fueled by spike games. Like when people go back to their home state,
Tyler Dorsey, baby.
Yeah, their hometown, and just like let. I was
talking with Robbie about that game, the game that we went to, and
but the Arizona,
Tyler Dorsey yelling at the Arizona bench because he had a little beef there.
He previously committed to Arizona. Obviously, ends up signing. And
they took Alonzo Trier instead, and it was it worked out for the Ducks. And I think for Tyler. But yeah, so we're going to go with the older brother. And then I think we're moving a little bit of a trend here, I see at the end. So let's move on to another. This is a pair of brothers. They may not be completely identical, but they're damn close.
They're pretty close. And
not identical in games, though. Their game is.
They've always had
a
separate game, and we're talking Brook and Robin Lopez played together at Stanford, and it was kind of like the thing. I remember, especially at the time, we were in school as well, and it was like Brook's got the offense, Robin's got the defense. Like that was kind of like their reputation on. I
remember around draft time, people were even saying like, oh, like Robin might be the better NBA prospect and stuff like that. And I remember seeing Brook Lopez and Robin Lopez at Stanford and being like, well, one of them looks a lot better to me.
Yeah, because because of Brook, you could reliably give the ball to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Whereas Rolo had like a good he was a good hustle energy guy.
And for a while, like Robin Lopez was when he came to the Blazers, I think I really grew to appreciate Robin Lopez.
Totally. Like what he brings.
think he kind of like rejuvenated LaMarcus Aldridge and made him a better rebounder. Like that's just what he does. He is one of those like Steven Adams types who like boxes out and makes your team a better rebounding team, does all like the little things on defense, and then is really good at getting garbage buckets. But yeah, the better one is the 1 minute older, supposedly, Brook Lopez. And
an all-star, he made one all-star team, or has he made a couple?
Brooks made it. I think Brooks made a couple.
I feel like he's throughout his time in the league.
And no, he's just made the one. Yeah,
because he's the kind of guy
for Brooklyn.
He added some stuff to his game
as soon as they went to Brooklyn.
He steps out now and shoots a three, and it's cool. This
Brook played for Brooklyn.
this season, 2019-2020, they actually got to play together in Milwaukee, so that was their first time in the league playing together.
They did, yeah. So Brook made the All-Star team in 2013. This year, the guy who everybody used to kind of rip on for not playing defense and for getting like under 6 rebounds per game, made the all defensive second team.
No, he's improved on that end for sure.
Guy has been killing it. And and then the other thing that he did, always had great touch, but he expanded his range.
Yeah.
And then starting in 2017, that last year in Brooklyn, he started taking a lot of threes and hitting them at a very good rate. And so not only got traded to the Lakers, I think he signed with the Lakers.
But that was not a good, it was not a good time about the Lakers either.
And then the other crazy thing was his first year with Milwaukee, he was making like nothing. He made like $3.3 million or something like that. And he, I think was a great signing for them, and just was a big piece of why they were the caliber of team that they were this year during the regular season, like averaging over 10 points per game.
He's a reliable offensive bit. Like he's always had nice touch. And then Robin brings great, energy to defense.
I think Brooks' defense during the playoffs, you could probably say both of their defenses is maybe a tad less effective. But yeah, like Brook is still great with verticality and just rim protection. And they're just both so big.
Yeah.
And I remember I think it's a story I brought up here, but they had a brother named Alex Lopez who was a really big time player when he was younger in California. And then Sports Illustrated had an article talking about his 2-year-old twin brothers who they predicted would grow to be 7'2", and they were not really that off.
Yeah,
they were pretty close.
Pretty good, especially for Sports Illustrated, who's made some mistakes.
Two huge, smart, and funny guys.
No, totally. Robin Lopez, obviously, if you've ever seen his mascot, in his wrestling videos that he and Giannis
he's a character.
Put on. But the other thing is crazy too, because they are 6'11", 7 feet. Yeah. They played together, in high school with Quincy Pondexter, who also played for Washington, played in the NBA. And then I have a friend who was also from that. I think they're from Central California, Fresno area, and he says his high school beat them. Which I think it's crazy to have a school with especially a public local.
Didn't they play with Jason Segel? I want to say Jason Segel might play.
Maybe too, but either way, Quincy Pondexter, went on to be pretty good in his own right.
I think Segel might have been the reason they lost.
But then 6'11", 7 feet, two of them. There's two. Yeah. It's like in the Social Network when one of the Winkle bosses I'm this big and there's two of me. That's the thing, especially at the high school level. It's two freaking 7-foot kids that are talented.
Well, I remember Kiski Prep had the Bular brothers and another 6'11" guy.
I'm talking talented.
Yeah, true enough.
Talented.
Bulars weren't Lopez level.
Yeah, I think with Brook's offensive touch,
but they were bigger.
Bigger for sure. I mean, I think Sim, when we met Sim at that tournament,
biggest guy I've ever
probably the biggest guy I've ever met, and I've met a lot of
and Tanvir before that was
my Rolodex of NBA guys that I've interacted with and met and talked to and stood next to is pretty extensive and definitely still the biggest guy.
Sim is a one finger handshake guy, where his one finger is probably as big as your whole hand.
Yeah, I think he touched my shoulder on the handshake.
Yeah.
The guy's and it's funny because we saw him at this basketball tournament, and he was with a former Oregon Duck, Twan Porter, who's on the other end of the spectrum at 5'6".
Yeah.
So 7'4", 5, whatever.
Still towered over this guy. But,
still way bigger than me. I was still, honored to meet both of them. But yeah, it was a good because they played together. And
Tawan was getting more burn in
the G League. Yeah, well, because he can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, they played, okay at New Mexico State. They were kind of doing their thing, and then so before we get into the final.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what are some other? We got the Plumleys, your favorites. We got Miles, Marshall, Martian, Matthew, just a bunch of M names. I think the Onion did a thing.
Malachi, Malcolm.
Yeah, the Onion did a thing. It's
Mississippi, Mo.
Oh yeah, Duke discovered that there's some rock in Indiana, and under it there's 5 more Plumlee brothers.
Lots of Plumleys.
Yeah, the Plumleys.
And then we know Mason had the unceremonious game 3, or it was game 3, right? Or no, game 2. Game 2 where he hit it was game 2 of the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
he was communicating on defense, and
kind of let someone by him.
Kind of left Anthony Davis with a little daylight.
You got the Tyler Hansborough's not in the NBA anymore, but Tyler and Ben Hansborough both played in the league.
Yeah.
As far as guys now,
let's as far as classic ones, you had 2 of the premier scorers of the 80s, Dominique Wilkins and
Gerald.
Bernard King had brothers Gerald Wilkins, and then with Bernard King's brother was Albert King. A book I will recommend that I remember reading as a kid and loved was Heaven is a Playground by Rick Tellinger. And that featured Albert King heavily.
No, Albert still had a 9-year career. I think he was getting 10.
They were both good.
And, Gerald Wilkins was a pretty okay player, in his own right. And then his son ended up also playing in the NBA. So that kind of kept that there. Obviously you have the Berries times 3.
Yeah.
So you had John, Rick, Brent. Yeah. Not John.
No, it was. I think it was Jrue.
Jrue, yeah. Rick is the dad.
Rick is the dad.
Rick is the dad, but
Canyon played for College of Charleston.
And then
I think they end up going to Miami. I think he might have played a year at Miami too, but yeah.
I know.
Either way.
Just, yeah, Brent went to Oregon State, so that's terrible. But he did win a dunk contest by wearing a warm-up jacket and just being a white man can't jump kind of storyline. And
doing the same dunk twice.
Yeah, basically every time. And they're like, good enough at this point. Like, let's just give the trophy to him so we can go home. And
why don't you just give him the trophy? So let's just continue to these last brothers.
And sadly, we thought we were going to be one of these brother combinations in the NBA. Like that
didn't necessarily get the hype portion of that.
Yeah, no, totally. We had the dream for it. You know, just the desire, skill, hustle, heart, enthusiasm, talent.
All of those things.
Those were lacking on us. But we were, you know, obviously I think every brother combination that steps out on a court together.
If we played like basketball, we probably still wouldn't be that great. But like we would
be better.
We like playing it. We'd be better.
We'd be better. But I still don't think we still have some ways to go.
I think the psych outs would hurt our feelings eventually.
Oh, we take it way too personally. Yeah, I can't deal with that. Like if you're making fun of me, like it's gonna hurt. It cuts deep. But the final pair is also cool because I think they're the only one in this case that were actually traded for each other at one point.
Yeah,
we're talking Pau and Mark Gasol.
Yes,
and it's kind of interesting when we look at that trade. So Mark was drafted by the Lakers.
It seemed like an absolute steal at the time for the Lakers.
Oh, totally. It's and like because Mark was kind of viewed as this like he's Pau's younger brother. He's super overweight. Kind of played high school in the U.S. and then ended up going back to Spain and like he was kind of written off. You know, he was kind of like a draft and stashy type. Like the Lakers had. I think
he got a lot better in Spain and got into better shape.
No, I know. I've met their mom and we talked about that, and she was like, the system in Spain is like a lot better at like preparing kids for that level. Like that was her thought, you know, having Mark have played in high school in the US and then gone and like worked professionally. And then, it was this trade and Pau was great at that time playing on the Grizzlies, but never really getting to that next level. He gets traded to the Lakers. And so it's one of those trades you look back on and it's like, it's interesting. I think both teams got what they wanted out of that trade.
I think one team got a lot more.
Well, I think
that was the championships that Pau Gasol provided.
Obviously, the Lakers needed someone that could play immediately, and Pau and Kobe obviously gelled. And then,
but Mark got further in Memphis than Pau ever did.
Yeah, and that's why like Mark was kind of like the backbone of that like grind city team. You know, he was that center for forever until he got
won a defensive player of the year.
So he got traded to
3 All-Star games.
Yeah, and he won that championship in Toronto. Like, both super good, and I think
it was very key.
Pau on the Lakers, like just kind of manning that high post with Kobe, like he was killing it.
Oh yeah. And I think the second finals, like their game scores are like almost identical. Like it was pretty close. There are still people, and I think these people are quite wrong, who say like Pau Gasol was the better between he and Kobe for those teams. I think your face. I think
that deserves like prison time because I think Pau's great and he was a great wingman for Kobe. Like, great secondary guy for Kobe, but. Yeah, like take Kobe out of the picture and tell me how the Lakers would have done.
I agree.
Like, and I love Pau, and
idiots will argue that.
Honestly, I'm a little sad. Like, not that he has a lot left in the tank at this point. You know, a little older in his career, but I was hoping he'd play for the Blazers. Like, actually play for the Blazers.
Would have been nice.
And then they ended up kind of like cutting him in like a ceremonial way that he was kind of going to like stay with the team as a coachy kind of thing. And then he's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll go do my own thing." And I mean, I think he's still
I'll go away.
Yeah, I'll just go away forever. But like, no, I was hoping like it's. You know, even though he's not who he once was, it's still cool to see players of that caliber in your team's jersey.
Yeah.
You know, coming out.
And then the rumor was that they were both going to go to FC Barcelona. It appears that that's not necessarily the case. But yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on what the Gasol brothers are doing.
Yeah, because Mark, you know, is kind of like, again, also towards that end.
He's 35.
You know, he's proven that in Toronto, he's a little slower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like, I still think there are a few teams out there that would like him for, you know, significantly less money.
Oh, totally. I guess
he was making.
I think you get him for you get it for a nice like veteran, you know, mid-level kind of thing. It's like he's still tough, and he can still help your team because I think he's super skilled, and obviously he was the better defender of the two because he was like known for like defensive presence,
whereas. You know, Pau Gasol was the better individual offensive player at his prime. And then as far as career scoring, they are at 33,146 points. Pau has 20,894 of those, and Mark has 12,252. Will the Gasol brothers score any more NBA points? We don't know.
That's it's something. I mean, Pau's kind of
Pau, I think, might be done.
I mean, because the last
Mark,
2 years,
I still I felt like Mark was going to come back this year for at least another year in the NBA.
Or could he be? Or could he be a guy that doesn't come over till later in the season when some team has that need?
Yeah. Oh, to have an NBA out. Yeah.
Yeah, like have an NBA out and just come later in the season when some teams like.
When did Mark Gasol become the better of the two, in the NBA?
Definitely after Pau was.
Because he made his first All-Star team in 2012.
Yeah.
And they make it together in 2015. And at this point, Pau was in the Eastern Conference and playing for Chicago. I want to say sometime around there, they
kind of switch and then
switch.
And then because that Memphis grind city, style of Mark and Zach Randolph, that was a. Yeah, that was pretty solid.
So I think Mark's been the better player for quite a few years now.
In the more recent, but but again, overall, we are going to say
Pau was the guy for Spain, and as well as Mark played. I think Mark currently, if he were to play for Spain, would have a larger role. But Pau was always the guy that they kind of built around. And even when he broke his ankle and they won the gold medal in the World Championships, you still kind of gave it as Pau Gasol's team.
Oh, totally. And, I think.
They both have had fantastic international careers. And,
I think he put that that scene on the map. For a lot of basketball in Spain was flows through Pau.
Oh, yeah.
So he's always historically going to be the dude. But I mean,
I think they're both Hall of Fame level guys. Pau for sure. Mark, I think probably gets
Mark. I think Mark. I think winning that championship in Toronto super helped. He's got his defensive players of the year. I think he was probably one of the better centers of this generation, which is not saying a ton because it's not a center heavy generation. But I mean,
I guess are there two Hall of Fame brothers out there? There may be in the near future.
Yeah, no, totally. That would be.
And I think it would be Mark and Pau Gasol.
Well, some of them could get mentioned in the speech, the acceptance speech at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But
brother to brother.
Yeah, but it's I definitely would say they have the best chance of both being in the Hall of Fame for sure. And we'd love to know do you have a sibling, older brother, younger brother, sister, cousin, someone that you let us know.
Meanwhile, what was the tally, bud?
The older siblings were victorious.
Peace, Connecticut.
But I gotta say, if you have a sibling and you got a rivalry, let us know who you think is the best. Which one of you is the best and why? Yes. Let us know in the comments here if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us, you can tweet us at Viseland. You can email us at viselandpod@gmail.com. Let us know why you're better than that other person. We love competitiveness. We love a little spite every now and again. So definitely,
we should be doing also NBA and WNBA. That would have been
cross as well. No, there's definitely some.
Yeah, I know at least JaVale McGee and Amani McGee-Stafford. There are a number of others.
Go back to Cheryl and Reggie Miller.
Indeed.
That always gets written up there in the
talk about two Hall of Famers.
Yeah, no, totally. That's it's probably the first sibling. Yeah, sibling Hall of
Famers?
Hall of Famers, probably.
I don't know. I think maybe playing.
Yes, playing. Not talking coaching. Coaching is.
Yeah. Could be something we'll have to look into.
Yeah.
But anything else to add, Jace?
I am just really waiting for us to figure out when the season is going to start again, because now it's
that's a good question, man.
Do I start getting super excited about free agency and the
potential?
It's
supposed to be December 22nd, but we'll see.
Because the NBA needs Christmas Day. They can't miss that date.
Christmas would suck a lot more
without the NBA. Without 17 games on that are all pretty good games. That you want to watch and seeing those matchups.
Especially if you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't even get presents. That's our present.
Well, we go to the movies as soon as we wake up. So we're done with the movie by like 8:30 in the morning, and then we go watch basketball the rest of the day. It was an honor and a privilege. So that's like, for me, that's like the biggest thing that I kind of just want some clarity and closure on. And also just like maybe some more information on what's going down with the draft. I mean, I follow some of the guys on Twitter, Instagram, and you see them working.
We've gotten some information though, like some of the measurements and testing have been released for guys from the Minnesota area. So if anybody else has some, then we're all ears, and we'd love to see some more. But yeah, Trey Jones has a 40-inch vertical apparently, and I think it was like 33 no step also. And then Daniel Oturu got some nice measurements at like a 9'2" standing reach, 7'4" wingspan. But yeah, it would be nice to have the NBA.com combine measurements all
those gotta, because the guys are working out. But yeah, I want to know like who's really making a difference, like who's turning some heads.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's kind of tough because it's so disjointed because guys aren't getting to go to.
You could also like follow college basketball and do stuff like that.
I also could try to balance my life. That's kind of the other.
That's a major.
That's another
major thing.
A problem at times. And then you've had 1 week since you were in Utah at the Hoop Scene West Pro Insight camp. Like, you've had a week to digest it. You've watched some more stuff. So do you have any final thoughts on that event? Or like, is there anybody you've been thinking about since then that you're hoping is, because I know some scholarship offers have gone out since then.
Yeah.
For some of those guys.
Madi Traore just received scholarship offers from almost everyone. Yeah, that's one where I still actually do need to watch tape and get a little bit more info there. But yeah, they'll come up in future episodes. All I know is I was very happy with how it went. And yeah, I'll be glad to talk about some of those guys in the future. And then there was the, I guess it was called like the Border League. And they just had that. The team that basically represented IMG beat the team that represents Coronado from Las Vegas. And all I know is the star of the weekend seemed to be Chet Holmgren for whatever the Minnesota team's name was. I think it's Team Sizzle. Which
is confusing because Hot Sauce, the N1 legend from Atlanta, so no really Minnesota connect there. But Chet Holmgren's one of those dudes, still incredibly skinny, but so big and talented, and like
verticality is crazy, timing crazy, has some ability to shoot, has some ball skills. But yeah, Jaden Hardy I think was like the star of the weekend, and he had a 46-point game, and beat Prolific Prep. I think it was kind of an upset there. And in that 46-point game, had 9 3-pointers. Just guy is a walking bucket, crazy range, and it seems like he's really zoned in and kind of gunning for that number 1 spot. There's still a few guys that I think are ranked ahead of him for like fairly good reason, but Jaden Hardy's certainly like a really interesting prospect. I think even has like a plus like 5 or 6 wingspan. And we know his older brother is coming to play for Oregon this year. He is playing for Oregon.
And as of this recording,
not expecting Jaden to do the same.
Oh, totally not. But as of this recording,
I think we're in the final grouping.
As of this recording, though, according to ESPN, University of Oregon basketball does have the number 1 rated recruiting class in the country for 2021.
Yeah,
the accuracy of that is highly questioned, but
I think they're still kind of keeping Frank Kepnang as
2021 versus 2020.
Yeah,
but like as an Oregon fan,
he will technically be 2021.
I will. Yeah, he's redshirting.
He's redshirting.
I'll take that number 1 status, and brought some good little buzz on social media. So hopefully the Ducks continue that momentum.
Yeah, and I think Duke is going to have the number 1 rated recruiting class. That's just my guess.
Generally, when it's all said and done, that's how the
Paulo Banchero and AJ Griffin may be the 2 best players in the class. So Patrick Baldwin Jr. is certainly up there, and I guess they're making some moves to try and get him to go to Kentucky or Kansas, but it seems like Duke is still a favorite there also. But yeah, we'll
take it.
We'll have more high school basketball news and things to go over.
Yeah, because recruiting's we still college basketball starts next month. Recruiting, we have early signing period happening in December. So, there is some time for some hijinks to ensue. And this is really the only basketball we're going to get right now is going to be college and kind of some recruiting buzz until we figure out like what are those next steps for NBA. They are playing overseas in Europe. Tyler Dorsey from Oregon just had a great game over in EuroLeague. He made 9 threes, which is, I think it was like 26 points, was like his EuroLeague high.
How do you make 9 threes?
Oh, it's 27. Yeah,
he made 8.
8, yeah. I wanted him to make 9.
You're just thinking of Jaden Hardy, man.
Hey, 8 threes is still pretty impressive. I will take it. But, follow your favorite former college basketball players. They appreciate the love overseas when they're out there. They're out there balling and giving their best. But, yeah, what are some other basketball things on your mind right now?
Not too much.
Yeah.
Lakers won the NBA championship. And, I'd say there are lots of great articles out there right now. And there's some news coming out, and we'll have that for you in the next little while. But, yeah, just looking forward to – well, college basketball is coming in
1 month.
Apparently November 25th.
Yeah, 1 month from the date of this
recording. We're hoping everything happens there. So
no, totally. Yeah. Hopefully everyone.
And then the draft is apparently November 18th.
But that'll be probably like the NFL. That'll be like a Zoom draft.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't care about guys going to the draft. I just care about where they get taken.
Did you see though in the NFL there was the one thing like the one family was like it was because it was just the families were shown on camera and the guy got drafted and they were like celebrating and then like all the other people were coming in from the other room and the dad's like. Get back. Like, get the fuck out. Like, don't get on the camera. Don't ruin this for us. So it's like one of those things. And obviously still excited for the guys that get to get drafted. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. This is our first episode in person. Hopefully First live. Hopefully,
when things get back to
relative normal and travel becomes normal we can do a little bit more of these, maybe some different locales, different locations, who knows where we'll be at, but thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen. If you want to follow this guy on Twitter, he's at NBA Draft Mikey V. If you want to follow me on anything, I am at J Visenberg. You want to follow both of us at the same time and get like the best of both worlds at Viseland, or you can email us at viselandpod@gmail.com. Please go ahead, subscribe, like, share. We appreciate you guys so much for all the love.
Yeah, really appreciate it on the last episode too.
Yeah, so thank you guys for being Viselanders. We're glad that you're part of our tribe. So definitely.
Part of our tribe. What the fuck are you talking about? Thank you, Viselanders. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all the support. And yeah, really thank you so much for watching Viseland.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next week.